Hello, my name is Lola, and I'm going to be reacting to Food Theory Your Neighbors Hate You Halloween Candy. Personally, I have no neighbors. I live on a different plane of existence. No, I'm just kidding. I do have neighbors. I just choose to ignore them. I don't know. Uh, yeah, I'm kind of I like anti-social, uh, and shy. Like, I don't really like, you know, talking to people. But like if you say hi, then I'll say hi back. It's just that after that, I'm just like, oh God, like sweating and screaming inside, like, oh no. uh, yeah, but neighbors hating you, like what? I can understand if like you bug them and like annoy them, with loud music, screaming, shouting, especially at night when normally everybody's asleep. But aside from that, like Halloween candy, like what? Anyway, yeah. I mean, if you want to tell me, like, how your neighbors are your neighbors cool? Or are they like, the neighbors from hell? Just going out of their way trying to make your life a living hell. Like, God, it would suck to have those neighbors. I've seen people on the news that have those neighbors, and it's like, God, like they just want to move, but they can't because they don't have the money to move or something. Um, Anyway, yeah, let's check this out. And if you want to like, comment, subscribe my channel, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Here we go.
Gather round, boys and ghouls, for a terrifying tale. On Halloween night, when the streets are filled with witches and ghosts, princesses, probably a Thor or two, and whatever Fortnite character is currently relevant. Don't really care about that one anymore. Something much scarier will be happening behind closed doors. You see, your neighbors are hiding a horrible secret from you this Halloween. They don't want you to find out, but I know what they're up to. And all of it is revealed by this, their candy. Let's just say, don't trust your neighbors. Viewer beware, you're in for a scare. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the cool house on the block that gives away the full-sized candy bars. It's that time of year, my friends. There's a chill in the air, the leaves are changing color, your favorite YouTuber has suddenly decided it's cool to upload again because Q4 CPMs are up. That's right, it's Halloween. Store shelves filled with bags of bulk candy as trick-or-treating returns to a post-pandemic world. And every time Spooky Month comes up, the internet's filled with all sorts of listicles and infographics reporting on the year's most popular Halloween candy. Usually it's broken down state by state so you can see how different parts of the country compare. And let me tell you, I cannot get enough of these sorts of charts. Like this map right here from candystore.com, which looks at bulk candy sales and breaks down the top 3 finishers for the entire US. It just feeds my natural instinct to look for patterns and ask questions like, why? Why are there so many states that have hot tamales as their #1 candy? Seriously, who hurt you? I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong here. Please let me know down in the comments section if hot tamale lover describes you or anyone you know, cause I don't think I've ever met someone who's had more than like 1 or 2 of these little cinnamon pills in their life, let alone would put them in their top 10 candies. What is going on there in Minnesota, North Dakota, Nevada, and Virginia? Or how about this one? Swedish fish only appears 1 time across the entire 50-state map, in Georgia, of all places. Why such a strong showing in that one specific area and nowhere else? There's so much delicious data to dig into here, but what I want to know is the story behind the numbers, the why of it. And once I started digging, I unearthed some uncomfortable facts about human nature. Nope, that is not an exaggeration. It pains me to tell you this, but your neighbor, yeah, they secretly hate your kids. And I know it thanks to an analysis of popular Halloween candies. Well, there were certainly some findings here that were shocking. There were also some things that made immediate sense. Take, for instance, the fact that Pennsylvania's favorite Halloween confection are Hershey's mini bars. If it's not immediately obvious to you why that would be the case, may I direct your attention to the town of Hershey, Pennsylvania. Just look at this photo taken at the intersection of Chocolate Avenue and Cocoa Avenue. Nope, your eyes are not deceiving you. Those are indeed Hershey kiss-shaped lamps. This isn't just some tourism gimmick either. The Hershey company's corporate headquarters is just a short drive away. The entire reason the 13,000 person community of Hershey, PA is on the map in the first place is because this is where all the workers settled. Here, you can get yourself a chocolate massage at the chocolate spa or ride the roller coaster near Candemonium in Hershey Park. And Hershey's influence in the state goes well beyond the boundaries of just this one town. Out of 6 Hershey plants in the United States, 4 of them are located in Pennsylvania. Also, side note, notice that I didn't call Hershey a city, because it's not. It's actually a town or a community. You see, Hershey was started as a company town, where practically all stores and housing were owned by the one central company. In Hershey, the company controlled the housing, churches, parks, public transit, theater, swimming pool, but because it's unincorporated, they don't have themselves a local government. All stories probably best saved for another day. Anyway, just because Hershey's is the main game in town, that doesn't mean that it's the only game in town. Drive just 10 miles south of Hershey and you'll arrive in Elizabethtown, home to the Mars Chocolate Factory, which manufactures Dove, Three Musketeers, Milky Way, and of course their most famous candy, the M&M, which, go figure, ranks number 2 among Pennsylvanians. Like I said, some trends are easy to explain. That kind of location-based loyalty got me wondering if it might be a possible explanation for Georgia's Swedish fish affinity. But according to all the research that I've done, the Swedish fish that get shipped around North America all come from a factory in Ontario, Canada. So if it's not location-based loyalty, what is the reason? Well, I started by looking backward for the first date that Swedish fish weren't in the #1 position for Georgia. That took me back to 2019. At the time, Georgia was more of a Jolly Rancher state. So what changed to put the gummy groupers into the top spot? I suspect it might all be because of one man's unintentional public relations campaign. You see, in November of 2019, so after the Halloween 2019 data was in the books, a University of Georgia football player named Jordan Davis went viral after he was caught munching Swedish fish on the sidelines. This player and this moment got a lot of local news coverage. Apparently it was his favorite candy, so this 336-pound defensive tackle molded it into a core part of his identity as an athlete. Check his Twitter bio and you'll see that he describes himself as 2 things: jersey number 99 and Swedish fish connoisseur. A news segment leading up to the NFL draft earlier this year described him as a man of 2 loves: football and Swedish fish.
That's a perfect catch.
Basically, he's a hometown hero who now plays professional ball. Knowing this, people just shower him with Swedish fish at games. Like this moment in 2021 when a kid on the sidelines handed him a bag. So am I saying that one Georgia footballer hashtag influenced the entire state of Georgia to propel Swedish fish to stardom? Not exactly. The candy was already popular enough to be ranked number 2 back in 2019. But it is interesting that both Swedish fish and Jordan Davis rose together after Halloween 2019. Just saying that the local reporting of him and his candy preferences may have been the thing to push Swedish fish over the edge to lock in the #1 spot for the last couple of years. So that's some local data, but what about the big trends? What were the nationwide patterns in the data? Are hotter states less likely to buy chocolate for fear of it melting? Are states with worse dental records the ones sucking down gummy worms and other chewy, sticky, and sour candies that have been shown to be the worst possible option for your teeth? As it turns out, no. I took all the candy ranking data and added in stats like average household income, dental hygiene scores, obesity, average yearly temperatures, and a few other data points for each state. And then I threw the whole thing into a pivot table. Now, for those of you who don't know, pivot tables are easy ways to slice, mix, and analyze large groups of data to try and find interesting trends. And what I found was nothing. Sure, there were plenty of individual data points that I could cherry pick as evidence to support a theory or another, but looking at the overall picture, there didn't really seem to be any strong correlations. For example, I looked into a state's favorite candy and saw if it had any relation to their dental health records. No correlation. If anything, other factors that we looked at in the data, like poverty rate, seem to do a far better job of predicting dental health. Not surprising, considering that people with low income are far more likely to be without dental insurance. Same story with hot states and chocolate, or states with more kids having a higher ranking for sour flavors. Nothing. No significant correlations no matter how I cross the data. Not only that, but none of my theories could explain completely bizarre trends, like the fact that so many states seem to have a thing for hot tamales. It was in the top 3 candies for 11 states. Not only that, but none of my theories could explain some completely bizarre trends in the data. I mean, I'd expect maybe 1 or 2 as some sort of weird outlier, like Louisiana's #1 pick of lemon heads. But 11 states actively choosing hot tamales? And don't even get me started on candy corn. Fortunately, no state was crazy enough to have candy corn as their #1 Halloween candy of choice, but a whopping 11 had candy corn rankings of 2 or 3. Again, have you or anyone you know ever ranked candy corn as that high amongst your favorites?
Yeah, me. Because they're delicious, okay? Little striped layers of candy goodness.
Get out of here, Aaron.
Honey or butter toffee or whatever. I haven't really quite pinned the flavor yet. But if you don't like them, leave.
You stay out of this, Aaron Hansen. But see,
Okay. I'm just kidding. Still candy corn? Ew. Yeah, get out of here, Aaron. No one called you here.
Seriously, 11 states. That's as many appearances as Reese's Cups. Was I going crazy? What was going on here? And then it hit me. The answer had been staring me in the face the entire time. This data is looking at each state's candy purchases, specifically coming from bulk candy sales in early October in prep for Halloween. This cute little map isn't showing us what candy is the state's favorite, it's showing us what each state's favorite candy is to give away. It's telling us what people are putting in their shopping cart when it's time to buy a giant bag of fun-sized candy to fill the pumpkin-shaped basket that you put out for the neighbors. This explains why certain candies appear so highly in the rankings. I have never once bought hot tamales or candy corn voluntarily, but every Halloween they still seem to show up in my bag of candy because the neighbors are the ones buying them. So what gives? Do adults just have a remarkably poor read on what kinds of candy kids actually like? My friends, the truth is actually much sadder than that. If we look at the candies that are ranking highest in Halloween popularity, and only Halloween popularity, we start to notice a disturbing trend. Since all the data is coming directly from an analysis by candystore.com, I decided to look at the rate they're charging for certain candy. I started with the popular choices, the kind of stuff that people are likely to eat year-round, just to establish our baseline. Fun-sized Snicker bars are among the most expensive at $11.93 per pound. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups come out to $11.04. Skittles, $10 a pound, and bulk M&Ms are between $8 and $12 per pound depending on variety. So our baseline is that most popular candy brands are gonna run you between $10 and $12 per pound of candy. Hot tamales, on the other hand, the cinnamon flavored candy that somehow ranked number 1 in 4 different states and ranks top 3 in 8 others, $4.44 a pound. How about Sour Patch Kids, which ranked as number 1 in 7 different states? Well, maybe the reason for that is because you could get Sour Patch Kids in bulk for a mere $5.20 per pound, half the price of the more mainstream candy. And candy corn, that flavored wax masquerading as candy, is the cheapest of them all at a mere $3.80 per pound, 1/3 the cost of the more premium candy brands. And that explains it, my friends. That's why these are the most popular Halloween candies. Outside of Sour Patch Kids, which are pretty darn good and seem to be pricing themselves extra low so they can capture the candy market, nobody in their right mind would pay money for hot tamales or candy corn at a checkout counter for themselves. But if all you're looking to do is do the bare minimum and fill the candy bucket while spending as little money as possible, these are the most rational choices. When you look at the candy purely in terms of how much people are paying for it, the truth is undeniable. This isn't about spreading Halloween cheer, it's about getting the brat off the lawn as quickly and cheaply as possible to ensure that they're not going to come back to egg the house. If you look at polls asking people what candies they actually like, you'll find that chocolate tops the list. The 5 candies with the highest approval ratings are M&M's, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Hershey's Kisses, Kit Kats, and Snickers in that order. Most of these candies did manage to make their way onto the Halloween candy power rankings in one way or another, but one that was shockingly absent from all 50 states, Kit Kats. As soon as I looked at the price, it was immediately clear why. While most premium candy brands are going to run you between $10 and $12 a pound, Kit Kats were by far the most expensive, a whopping $14.40 a pound, 20% more expensive than the already pricey Snickers. This also explains all the other contradictions in our data, like why we weren't able to establish a clear link between a state's candy rankings and their dental health. It's because the candy that's being bought at Halloween isn't necessarily the candy that's being eaten year-round. Same thing with the temperature trends. Hot states are more than happy to pawn off that melted Butterfinger to the next door kid. Chocolate fingers aren't going to be their problem after all. In short, if you're looking to min-max Halloween by buying the cheapest sugar available, now you know that you're in good company. Sure, you might not be giving out the favorite candy of the night, but hey, it'll suffice. That said, with Halloween finally fully back this year, consider spreading the spirit of the holidays by giving the people what they really want, M&Ms. Inexpensive, yet popular. Cause remember, saving money is one thing, but no one wants to wake up to a lawn full of free toilet paper. But hey, you know what's inexpensive and allows you to eat fresh, healthy, home-cooked meals? Our sponsor for today's episode, Hello.
I don't know, man. With what happened in 2020, I think, yeah, of course, at that time, yeah, get some free toilet paper. Yeah, and it does make more sense now, because, the popular candies like Reese's, M&M's, Snickers, Three Musketeers, whatever, like, of course, those, it makes more sense the way how Matt put it. You want to keep that to yourself, but the ones that you don't want, the ones that you don't like, yeah, of course, hand those over to the kids. Just let here. Even though more than likely those kids are going to be like, when they get home, they're going to be like, I don't want this, and trade it for something else. Uh, yeah, and that whole Hershey Town, I didn't know that existed. Actually, the first time I heard about it was on the Drew Carey show when him and his friends were getting on what was it? It was a truck or something. Oh, it was an ice cream truck. It was an ice cream truck. And their plan was to like, oh, we're gonna go to New York, see a game, baseball game, I think. And while they were driving, they passed by Hershey Town, and they were like, oh man, let's make a quick stop. And man, they just bought a whole bunch of chocolate. It's a whole lot of chocolate. And the first time I heard about that, I was like, man, there's no way that's real. I looked it up. Sure enough, it's real. I was like, what? Like, man, I want to live there. Man, one day I want to retire over there because I love chocolate. I'm a sucker for chocolate, man. Like, that's just my game plan now. Just when I retire, quit, whatever, just move over there. Like, uh, either that or Elizabethtown, one of the two. I think Hershey. Uh, yeah, anyway, that's it. That's my reaction to Food Theory. Your neighbors hate you. Halloween candy. And yeah, happy Halloween. Even though I know it's not Halloween yet, but still, like, it's gonna be soon. Um, yeah, everybody, take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.